Welcome to the Practical Ascension podcast. I'm your host and guide, Tracy Goody. Join me as we explore the multifaceted experience of awakening in this modern age of transformation. Subscribe, leave a review, or share this episode to show your support. It's mission on, lightworkers. October Practical Ascension energies. All right, so let's take a deep breath as we're moving into October. It has been a bit of a weird 6-month period. It's been a weird couple of years, honestly. So October is bringing us into a real transition in energy this month. We've been living under a lot of planetary retrogrades since the spring, and we've been asked to review a lot of our lives, like all the parts of our lives, and become aware of imbalances where we're experiencing contrast, but we would rather be experiencing harmony. So for many, this has been a very challenging 6 month where things can feel up in the air. There's been a lot of insights and then probably doubts and questions dealing with themes and patterns that you thought were already resolved. So this is a very normal thing that a lot of people have been feeling. I've personally been feeling the Pluto retrograde really specifically and looking into the depths of my subconscious, my programming, my relationships, my purpose, my parenting, my health, pretty well all of life. So, I'm feeling this very much as well. And you might feel this similarity that you have been kind of looking at all the different parts of your life. And if so, October is going to feel like such a breath of fresh air for you. So in October, we're wrapping up most of the planetary retrogrades, not all of them, but most of them. And we're moving forward through this 10-10 gateway. And these numerological gateways, it's a hard thing to get your mouth around. These numerological gateways, the 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, all these gateways have been really prominent this year, and I have a feeling that it's going to continue being this way moving forward. So we begin this transition on October 5th through the 12th. We're being set up with this beautiful new moon on October 6th that really intertwines the work that we've been doing. All this timeline focus, and this is what's been coming through from my guides really consistently for the last few months, this timeline focus, it's been at the forefront. And it's to get us ready for the remaining 2 numerological gateways of the year. So when I speak of timelines, you can also just think of it as your path and the reality you're experiencing. Some people get caught up with that word timeline, but it's just the reality you're experiencing. It's a path that's unfolding. So the timeline adjustment points have been ongoing for the last 6 months, and they're going to continue as we're in this energy right now where timelines really matter. So for light workers to be feeling their way forward from within, as opposed to moving down the timeline of programming and alternate agendas. So again, very, very key. If you resonate as like a light worker, a way shower, starseed, anything like that, we're here to be anchoring these ascension timelines, and the urgency on that, is urgency the right word? The priority on that, the focus on that, the dial is turning up on that. We're recognizing our freedom as sovereign souls, co-creating our reality, and we are being guided to reclaim our power increasingly. It's not like you claim your power and you're like, I'm in my power, and then you're just good for the rest of your life. No, you claim your power in a series of forgetting your power and reclaiming it, in a series of being like, oh, I'm this, and recognizing the soul aspects of yourself, and then pulling them all together and creating this beautiful collaborative soul power. So the sacred feminine's continuing to rise as well, and really encouraging us out of the well-known structures and comfort zones into that inner knowing and trust. So I love October for this anyway. All those witchy vibes are always there in October with that sacred feminine. So this is a huge shift. This is big. Most people are not ready for it to live their life through that sacred feminine leading, right? So right now, the way the world is set up, the masculine is leading. We have our structures, we have our 9 to 5, we have, all of these pretty rigid structures and institutions. When we're leading from the feminine, there is a lot more flow, and we're going from within. And traditionally speaking, whenever we're looking at, ancient cultures, like back, whenever before the feminine was like, torn apart, it's the feminine who would lead. It's the feminine who would say, okay, let's move forward to this place. Let's, hunt this many animals. And the masculine would, great. They would fill that up. The feminine had the connection to that to the wisdom, right? And this doesn't mean females had the connection to the women or had the connection to the divine. It could be males as well, right? But it's about the feminine energy. It's not female, it's feminine energy. So the feminine would lead and kind of show the way and show what is needed to create harmony, so you can hunt this many animals or this many fish or whatever it is, and the masculine respects that. The masculine fills it up and then creates the structure and does the things and does the action. And this balanced, harmonious flow is what we want to move back to. We want to move back into that feminine leading, and that's part of the ascension, right? And again, this isn't necessarily female. This is feminine energy, that quality, right? All right, so like I said, this is a big shift. A lot of people aren't ready for it, yet here we are. And I know myself personally, I have more masculine energies. That's who I am. I like to get things done. I like to have a plan. I like to have things structured. So integrating the feminine into my life has been extremely challenging. Though from, outlook, I would think, oh, that should be easy. Extremely challenging, right? So it does take some practice. But those who are called to the light are going to feel this. They're going to feel that kind of that old timeline is breaking down. And as the old timeline is breaking down, it's increasingly difficult to conform to rigid structures of society. And if we ignore our calling, we're going to start to feel mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausted. Like, you're going to feel it in different areas of your body. I know whenever I spend too much time in my masculine, my mental, emotional energy is just not okay. I need to come back. I need to get in nature. I need to maybe meditate or just breathe into my heart for a few moments. Do something that has a little bit more of a flowing energy to balance all that masculine energy. All right, so moving forward, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but these signs of discomfort, they're coming from within us, and they're the sign that it's time to go within. When within is calling you, when your mental, emotional, physical is calling you, it's giving you a sign. It's saying, hey, we're really uncomfortable here. It wants you to go within. They are a sign that the soul is calling out for more experiences that reconnect and remind us who we really are on a soul level. So in that same flow of energy, we're waking up to our soul gifts like never before. And October has good energy for this. So no matter where you're at on your journey, there is a leap in awareness and a connection to soul abilities available to you now, and you can access this through your heart chakra in the present moment, in any present moment you want. So let your soul self and guides know that you're ready. Spend some quiet time, and walking in nature is really good for this, and just allow yourself to be. Let the worries and what's going on in the world fall away for just a small amount of time every day and reconnect to soul. You don't have to make a big production of it and meditate for 2 hours at sunrise every day, but just taking 3 minutes to breathe into your heart with the intention of connecting to soul is really, really going to benefit you. So right now there is this ascension timeline of community, collaboration, unity, peace, empowerment, support. It feels so good. Just take a minute and feel that. That ascension timeline is there. We are here to anchor this, right? So that ascension timeline is there. That's available. Now there's also the fear timelines of, say, division, distrust, disharmony, all of those things. A lot of us are feeling both of these timelines right now. And when you take time to reconnect to soul, you're reconnecting to and anchoring that ascension timeline, that community, that collaboration, that peace, that empowerment. You're adding to and voting for the reality of your soul desires. You're anchoring that when you're focused on it. You are connected to why you came here in this life, to anchor your light in this ascension timeline for now and for future generations. So that's why it feels so good to tap into it, because your soul's like, yes, this is why we're here. Okay, so getting back to dates in October. So on October 6th, this beautiful, glorious new moon ramps up our intentions to anchor the timeline of our soul desires. So use this time to be still with soul. Let your imagination and soul connection really show you that vision. Just allow some quiet space and tap in to see what comes up there. Now, if you do get a lot of fear-based energies coming up, again, totally normal, especially if you're empathic. You're going to be absorbing from people around you. You're going to be absorbing from media, from social media, from all of these things. So you got to clean that off. You got to let that go. And if you are somebody who has been struggling a lot lately and you do recognize yourself as empathic, clearing your energy every day, multiple times a day, whatever feels good to you, but get into a process of doing that just like you would brush your teeth if you find there's a lot of fear-based energies coming up for you, right? So if you do find that, spend a little bit more time connecting within. It might mean that you need to call your divine team to help you detach from the 3D collective fears and plug back into that energy that brings out your light and your soul truth. So the opening of choosing that peace within, that continues. So that's really opening, 5th, 6th of October, and that continues through the 10/10 portal, October 10th. And we use this as a gateway to reclaim our desires. So this is really fun, and the guidance that came through here is quite practical. So the guidance that's coming through, especially for the 10/10 portal here, so a few days before, a few days after, especially on the day 10/10, behave as the person you know you are deep within. So try making choices from this place. Ask questions during this time like, what would my higher self do? Or if you have a goal you're working towards, say, for example, tap into that and say, picture that you're already there. You've already achieved that. What would that person do? What choices would she make? Claim your soul gifts in your highest timeline through your everyday choices and actions, and it will help to create truly miraculous timeline shifts during that time, especially. I mean, it's cool. It's great to do that, every single day, but especially during that time, it is a very fun game to play. So now another thing on the opposite side, because there's been a lot of really feel-good energies here that I've been talking about in October, but there's also, that ego death, that the shadows that are being healed throughout this time as well. They're very possible at this time. And I mean, I go through them fairly regularly myself. We're shedding old timelines. And you know what? A lot of the time we're attached to those old timelines because there's part of our ego self, our programming connected into that timeline that we have to let go of. And this can feel like majorly leaving your comfort zone. It can feel very uncomfortable. A lot of heavy emotions can be attached in here. When you are in the midst of an ego death or a dark night of the soul, it's like a burning down process. It can hurt. You might feel some deep emotions and some grief. It is temporary. It's temporary. It can feel so big and so deep when you're in it, but remind yourself it is temporary. It's temporary. Keep coming back to your soul self for support and nourishment. Ask yourself often in your heart chakra, not in your brain, how can I support myself? If your heart and your body and your energy is calling for pasta, then have pasta if that is what your body needs right now. Maybe it's speaking with a friend or crying or laughing or getting in nature. Don't judge or try to reason why it might help. If it is coming into your energy, if it's coming into your heart, then it's coming from your highest wisdom and it's going to lead you into greater healing and balance. So leaning into this shift as we move forward into the second half of the month, we're going to see even more planets going direct, and we're going to have the opportunity to increase our empowerment, our inspiration, and our momentum. So it's ramping up again. So if you're feeling those witchy vibes in late October, lean all the way into it. I'm all about witchy vibes. I love that energy. Feel that power within. So reconnecting to your sacred feminine if you feel called, recognizing and honoring all that has transpired and all that has aligned to get you to this place right now. All the ancestors, all the past lives, all your soul's history. You're here for a reason, and that reason is to know, be, and claim you, yourself, your soul self. It's to let go of the programs that are not you and tap into what lights you up. You're here creating this now reality and creating this for future generations. This is a big deal that you're here during this transition period of humanity. You signed up for this. It sucks a lot of the time that we're here. And I know myself personally, I'm like, honest to God, why did I sign up for this lifetime? And then I remember, and then it feels really good. But I mean, it's totally normal to have those days too. But this potent goddess energy at the end of the month is like a divine hand, like coming in and holding your chin up. So like anywhere kind of you've let yourself drop a little bit or are not recognizing the greatness that you are, that goddess energy at the end of the month wants to hold your chin right up, making sure that you're looking at your greatness and you are feeling it. It's not your perceived size of impact that you're making. It's the soul connection to what you do. So if somebody, say, has a mission that they're going to write a book and reach millions of people, right? And that's their soul impact. That feels good to them. Maybe your soul impact is adopting that dog, and that creates whatever whatever needs to happen to continue spiraling this timeline along. It does not matter the size of the impact. It is the soul connection to your impact. So follow what your soul wants to do. Comparing ourselves to others, measuring ourselves up against others, that's part of the masculine structure that's breaking down. So you notice yourself doing that, take a breath, let it go, remind yourself that thousands of years of programming have taught me this, but I'm choosing to let it go. I'm choosing to tap into this new ascension timeline. So I'm focusing on what is highest and best for me, not what others are doing. So is what you are doing feeding your soul? Does it light you up? Or when you talk about it, when you think about it, when you let yourself really tap into it, breathing into your heart chakra, feeling it, really letting yourself feel it for a few moments, does that soul connection just like scream at you? Do you feel the big yes? Even if you feel fear in it, even if you feel, can I really do this? Is this really me? Am I really ready for this? Can you feel that? So let yourself tap into that. So the 3D illusion that we're living in can be really, really persistent and distracting, and we can forget our power. I forget my power all the time. I have 3 teenagers now, and I can become distracted by all of the things that are happening and all of the needs and the emotions that are going on here, and I can easily forget my power. You got to keep coming back to it. I move through these dark night of the soul all the time. It doesn't matter how often you forget who you are or why you're here. Just keep coming back to it. Keep coming back to it. You're not getting in trouble. Your spirit guides are not looking down on you for forgetting who you are and, and distracting yourself and, being on TikTok for an hour or something like that. Your spirit guides are not looking down at you with judgment. They are looking down with you in just awe and absolute support for anything you need. You are the angel who is here. You are the divine being who is here. You're like the boots on the ground angel, right? Anything they can do to support you, they are happy with. They're not judging you, right? So it doesn't matter how often you're falling off the wagon. Just keep getting back on. Keep reminding yourself. Keep being grounded, being present in your body. You are bringing the light by being here and being you. So the best guidance, or the biggest guidance coming through for October, is to use it as a time to reconnect to your soul self. Find your harmonious home within your heart. And this is something that might take a little practice if you haven't done it before, but just breathing into your heart chakra, there is a beautiful, beautiful peace energy that reconnects you into your soul there. This might mean that you have to clear out some fears and judgments, going deeper than before. It might mean in your everyday life, consciously going outside of your comfort zone to choose love over fear. And one thing I do for this is sometimes I get very annoyed by people, like many introverts, right? So I'll find myself, and I found a solution to this because it doesn't feel good in my energy to be like, ugh, people, right? But it doesn't feel good. So say, for example, I'm going out to like the grocery store or something like that, or somebody cuts me off in traffic. I'll let that initial ego response come up, whatever it is, and then I'll just take a breath into my heart chakra and just remind myself what I want to be choosing. And then I start saying, I love you to them in my head, not out loud. And you know what? I may have talked about this on another podcast before, but it is such a shift in energetic frequency that I really encourage you all to try it. But I just start kind of silently every time I see somebody, I love you, I love you, I love you. I'm recognizing the soul within, not necessarily the personality, right? And in doing so, I'm allowing my frequency to be an anchor for that ascension timeline. I'm allowing my frequency to be an anchor for that love frequency, right? And this isn't something, you have to do this all the time. It's just a practice, and it's something to experiment with to see how you feel and making that choice that's outside of the comfort zone. So once you're reconnecting to your soul self, then grab that light and anchor it and feel it deeply. Know that this is you. That light that you're feeling, that's you. Whether you're feeling it walking in nature, in meditation, randomly out at the grocery store, that is you. Let your soul self surge through you and see where you feel inspired to go, to be, to do, to have. Now, I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, and my guides have been up in my face, giving this to me all the time this year. It is mission on for light workers everywhere. There's no more dress rehearsal. There's no more waiting for something to happen. It's here. Like, we are doing this every single day. So take a deep breath. Allow yourself to settle into your body and tap into what October has to unfold for you. All right, have so much fun in October and hold on tight for any of those dark nights of the soul and eco deaths. You'll move through them beautifully and gracefully, and you are going to come out so much more aware, so much more aligned, and so much more connected to your soul self on the other side. Thank you so much.